There's a reason why you listen to us.
There's only one reason.
And that reason is clear.
We're talking about sports.
It's because we own this.
That makes a ton of sense.
We own this thing called Sports Talk.
It's a communal experience.
And you hear it here.
And here they are. On the Big 920.
This is the Big 920, Milwaukee's all Badgers sports station.
Jump up and get down.
WOKY, Milwaukee, an iHeart radio station.
Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin is on the air. Brought to you by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Oak Park Place, offering senior living options with a lifestyle you deserve with amenities and services for a carefree, independent way of life. Wild Rock Golf Club. From 5 sets of tees and expansive greens, it's a course set up to embrace a challenge for scratch golfers to resort guests. Also by Zimbrick European. Why drive something ordinary when you can drive something extraordinary? University Ridge Golf Course, a public course that offers something for players of every ability and is the home of the Badgers men's and women's golf team. And by the Alzheimer's Association. Now here are your co-hosts for Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin, Dennis Tiziani.
Okay, gentlemen, mics are on.
Golf Hall of Fame and longtime Madison sportscaster Paul Braun.
Welcome to another round of Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network from TPC, Wisconsin. I'm Paul Braun along with our engineer, Dave McCann, and Dennis Tiziani has the night off. First time in 11 years, I believe, that he's missed the show. And we had to bring in 2 guys to replace him, one of which is his brother, Larry, and the head pro here at TPC Wisconsin, Matt Kenedy. David, you started something. You got a Badger shirt on. Larry Tiziani, we'll forgive him. He was a gopher. And now he comes in here tonight, and he's got Viking colors on. Did you do this on purpose?
So you understand, when Paul and Johansson commentaried, and
John Johansson was a hockey player.
A hockey player.
Yeah.
And I could never get the microphone last, and they were on TV, and on top of the TV, they had the trophy. And if you remember,
I remember,
on national TV, you were commenting me about being a gopher, and I just could never get the microphone last, and I'm still in the same position many years later.
I told you, I always am going to get the last word. Thanks for having us on the program. We're going to have a little fun. We're going to talk about a number of subjects. Gary Van Sickle is with us. Gary used to be at the Milwaukee Journal years and years ago, now a freelance writer for Sports Illustrated, and he's doing a podcast and stuff. And with us right now, in fact, is Tyler Obermuller. Tyler, by the way, just won the 121st Wisconsin State Amateur Golf Championship up at Sand Valley. He also won it back in 2009, and during his college days, he played here in Wisconsin. Those are nice things, but you know what the best thing about Tyler is?
And?
He's left-handed.
Well, I can't say too much now, as my grandson is left-handed. So.
And you're teaching him.
Well, I interject a little bit.
You wouldn't give lessons to me. I'm a left-hander, but now you're giving them to your grandson.
Well, we always had a rule. We didn't have a majority of left-handers on the range hitting balls. We had to have you sit down until a right-hander would show up.
Tyler, congratulations on winning the State Am your second time around. You had a little time to think about it. What's going through your mind now that you won that second championship?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. You know what? I'm just actually sitting here in the parking lot. I got my son's baseball game here starting in about 25 minutes. So a lot has changed from the first one to the second one. Now have a family with 2 kids and happily married. And, it was a really special week over at Sand Valley to be able to have my dad on the bag and my son Peyton walking the golf course with us. And the WSGA just does it right every single year. We got to play a world-class venue at Sand Valley, and it was really, really special.
You kind of describe yourself as a weekend golfer, and you put the family together and go over there and You hadn't won it since 2009, and you kind of looked at it as a fun family outing, right? Wasn't that part of the whole plan?
Yeah, I mean, I took a couple neighborhood buddies. We went and played a practice round the week before, and that was the first time I've ever been to the venue. And Sand Valley definitely is a course that fits my game and fits my style. Very much a kind of a grip it and rip it type of golf course. But they made it fast and firm this last week for the State Am, which was a lot different than a week ago. So it tests your patience, and you just had to make a lot of pars out there. So I was able to do that. And yeah, like you said, I'm kind of the weekend grinder now. If I can play once or twice a week, I'm happy. But there's definitely several weeks that go where I don't even touch a club nowadays. So yeah, just super happy to be able to come out on top.
Overall, what's your impression of Sand Valley?
You know what? It's pretty amazing. Living here in Wisconsin, we have a lot of unbelievable venues across the state with, Sheboygan and now Sand Valley, and it sounds like Sand Valley is going to be creating like 3 or 4 more golf courses. So, I mean, that's going to turn into, like I said, a world-class destination for people to travel to. Sand Valley is it's a unique golf course with all the sand dunes. You just kind of feel like you're supposed to be at the ocean or something, but you're right in central Wisconsin. So it's a special place for sure.
Matt and Larry, 30 seconds apiece. What's your thoughts on Sand Valley?
Larry Tiziani here. Congratulations on your victory. It's always nice to kind of validate something that you did, and for you, quite that spacing between 2009 to the current. That's a tribute to your basic fundamentals and your golf course management, but congratulations to you.
Matt, what's your thought on Sand Valley?
Well, first of all, Tyler, congratulations on winning that second Open, or the second amateur. It's quite an accomplishment. Sand Valley, I think, is great for golf. When they first built, honestly, you kind of look at it and go, you're going to build a golf course where? In the middle of Wisconsin? But after years of being open, it's been quite successful.
Matt, what was the turning point of the tournament for you as far as your play is concerned? Where was that? You said Matt. Oh, I'm sorry, Matt. I'm Tyler. Tyler, that question for you. Sorry about that.
Okay. Repeat the question. Sorry.
What was the turning point for you in the tournament, Tyler?
Man, probably a couple different ones. Round 2, I got it to 3 under par and missed a couple short putts on 10 and 11. Kind of got discouraged and very easily could have just kind of, got upset with myself and changed the pace of the round, but stayed positive all week and was able to make a couple birdies coming in. So that was a huge changing point. And then obviously the final round, it sounds like there was a 5-way tie when we made the final turn there. And I was telling a couple guys that I just played the par 5s pretty poor all week. And knowing that I had 3 par 5s on the backside, I was due to take advantage of them, or at least in my thought. And right away on 10, I hit a really nice 3-wood from about 275 to the middle of the green. And that kind of got a spark going. And then I was fortunate enough to birdie 11 after that, and really felt like I was in control of the match after 11 there. So.
Tyler Obermuller is our guest. He won the 121st Wisconsin State Amateur Golf Championship. I know another lefty that could only dream about hitting a 3-wood 275 yards. I can't imagine that. But winning that tournament, does it make you want to compete more? Or you mentioned you're a family guy with other perspectives. In fact, you're helping your son by coaching in baseball or softball or whatever it is. Does it change? You've won the State Am now a couple of times.
I don't know if it necessarily changes my thinking. I mean, once you're a competitor in this game, I think it kind of just lives with you forever. So I'll always want to compete. It's just I don't have as much free time to compete. I have 2 little ones at home that are definitely a priority in my life right now, and making sure that they get the best experience growing up as kids is something that I'll definitely pushed to. So I'll definitely compete in state AMs moving forward in a few tournaments here and there. But it's just, again, kind of a special week and super fortunate that came out on top.
Did you ever, I'm curious, did you ever take lessons from a left-handed instructor? Did you ever have that opportunity?
I didn't take lessons really until college. Jim Schumann was my college coach at Wisconsin, and those were kind of my first lessons. I was kind of self-taught, grew up on a golf course in River Falls here. Never really was a big swing guy or a mechanics guy until college.
What are your memories about your days of being a Badger?
Super special. Just playing Division I golf was always a dream as a young kid, and to be able to represent the home state and be a Badger for 4 incredible years. Had a bunch of good teammates, had an excellent coach who was an unbelievable instructor, and I can't say enough about how special the 4 years at Wisconsin was.
It's kind of cool, though, isn't it, Larry? You got young guys that are born and raised in the state of Wisconsin and compete and do well.
Yep, there's a lot to be said with that, with just the culture of having homegrown players playing in Wisconsin, the history that you have with homegrown players. It tends to, with family close by, there's less distraction from the outside, and I've always was kind of a believer that of homegrown talent.
Have either one of you played in the state am? Matt, you and Larry?
Never played in the state am.
I have not.
Well, Tyler's done wonderful, winning 2 tournaments, and congratulations on winning your second tournament. All the best, and we're going to let you go so you can coach and help with the baseball game. Is it a baseball game up there?
Yep, it's a baseball game, and a bunch of 7-year-old kids, so it should be fun. But thanks for having me on, guys. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, take care. That's Tyler Obermuller. Sounds like a guy that's pretty well got the perspective of life and all of that in line, doesn't he, Matt?
Yes, he does. He definitely does. You know, he knows how to just kind of keep his life in order, has his priorities straight, knows that the family comes first, and the golf will just sort of take care of itself.
Did you watch any golf over the weekend, guys? On the Pro Tour?
I didn't have a chance to.
I got a few holes in towards the end.
Scott Piercy, he was 297th on the players list, and he had a little trouble on the final day. He was 7 over par on the last 11 holes, and Tony Finau came back from 5 shots back to win that tournament at the 3M tournament up in the Twin Cities.
I take that back. I didn't watch that. I was thinking of the Open in St. Andrews.
And we're going to, in fact, we've got some audio from Tony Finau in terms of his championship. It was his 3rd tournament title, and he felt like he was kind of chasing everybody the entire weekend.
I was just chasing all day. That's all I remember, really all week. Scott played amazing golf, and the thing about out here, I just know with the experience that I have, you just have to keep playing. Anything can happen, and that's what I did. And when I really needed to hole putts, I did. Starting on 11, again on 14, 15, 16. I made some really crucial putts when I really needed them.
Yeah, you talk about getting about 5 birdies and putting yourself back in the tournament. That's kind of special, isn't it?
Yeah, he's long overdue. He's an excellent player, and that putter has always been a little bit of a question mark for him.
Yeah.
And boy, if you've been watching him maybe the last 4 or 5 months, that putts are starting to drop, and he seems like every week he's right about due to win. So congratulations to him.
And in looking for that win, he admitted that when he got around to about 17, he was starting to get a little nervous.
I got quite nervous on 17 just because it was a whole different field on how the week was going. I never was near the lead. I was near the top of the leaderboard, but I was never within 4 or 5 shots. All of a sudden, I was the one leading the golf tournament. So, sometimes you got to learn how to play with a lead. And it was a tournament that I didn't know I was going to be in that situation. A couple squirrely shots on 17 and 18, but I willed my way in and really happy to get that W.
And right now he feels pretty good about where his golf game is at this point.
My game is as good as it's ever been, and really in all aspects. And so, you know, I expected myself to contend and win again this year. And so to be able to do it this late in the season, when you're running out of tournaments, and you put that type of expectation on yourself, it's so satisfying. That's what makes the game so great. So satisfying when you get the job done, because you know that it doesn't happen very often. But this one's very special.
And despite the win, he's not going to change his schedule the rest of the season.
My schedule's not going to change. I'm going to play next week in Detroit. See if we can keep this horse rolling. But I'll take the week off of Wyndham and then right into the playoffs. So it's nice. It's nice to have jumped from now. Did you say 17?
Yep.
From I think I was entering the week at 30th in the FedEx Cup to now 17th. That's winning takes care of everything. And those guys at the top of that FedEx Cup are going to be extremely hard to pass. But the great thing about the playoffs is they're triple points. So those tournaments mean a lot in the grand scheme of the FedEx Cup playoffs. And now I put myself in a situation where I win some of those tournaments coming home, and I'm going to have a chance at East Lake. So this was extremely important on that journey to try and win a FedEx Cup.
Comments of Tony Finau, who won the 3M tournament. And Larry and Matt, I'll start with you. I wonder, though, the concern is with a lot of the things going on in golf, he was the top-rated player in that entire field. I don't know from a tournament perspective, that can't be a good thing.
No, I wouldn't think so. The couple times that I did happen to see it flipping through, it was kind of like you say. I didn't really recognize too many of the names on the leaderboard. And my first thought was, is the other, the competitors starting to take away some of the golfers that would have been, in some of these events and starting to thin out the fields a little bit. So,
Larry, do you see it as a potential issue down the road?
Before that, one of the things he said, my brother always said, you are always uncomfortable. He was nervous. And the more oftentimes you get in that position, you get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I think that's where he's at. And I think regardless of the field, he's no slouch himself, and the tour, and that will go on. There's anybody that's out there playing is a good player, is a great player, and it's going to go on without some of the names that left.
And another tournament that was held over the weekend was the British Senior Open. And the guy that won that tournament, boy, it was raining. It was windy on Sunday. The conditions were, they had squeegees out, and the guys were trying to putt around the squeegees and the whole thing. But Darren Clark came through in the end.
I think from tee to green this week, I was very disciplined this week. That's usually not one of my strengths. I hit away from a lot of flags, and I've through my career probably been too aggressive, going at too many. But this week I played smart. I hit away from them, and I'm here holding the trophy at the end. So maybe it's something I should have adopted earlier in my career.
And talking about his career, that's his second jug now, including the Claret jug and the one that he picked up yesterday.
I'm very fortunate to have my name on the Claret jug, and now I've got my name on this one as well. So those the guys that have done it before are some of the greats of the game. So to join that company is certainly very illustrious. It's something that I'm extremely proud of. Because that's why I work, that's why I practice, that's why I still put in the hours I do to this day to practice for moments like this to try and win.
And Jerry Kelly was in it until the final day. Go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, if I can make a comment, Jerry validated his major winning the Players.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm up with one of my students and her parent at the lesson tee, and this vehicle pulls up the side road. And I didn't know who it was. Out steps Jerry Kelly. And he stops up. I said, gee, well, I can help. He said, I just want to stop and say hi, and then introduced himself to my student and the player. But
classy move.
Classy guy.
He had a little trouble. Matt, he was right in it the final day, but I think he bogeyed 4 of the first 7 holes in the weather. In fact, they showed him on one hole where the wind is blowing and the rain is coming down. It's just pouring, and he just hit a terrible shot. And knowing Jerry, he just kind of went, "Oh, that was a bad one," and that kind of thing.
Well, that's tough. When you get off to that bad start, it's tough to get that to turn around and have a good day after that. So.
Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to chat with Larry. Larry's been around here a few years, like his brother, and we're going to reminisce a little bit about Cherokee and then, of course, what's happening here after this time out on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
When it's time for an adventure on the open highway, one quick call to American Family Insurance gets you headed in the right direction. Our travel peace of mind package is there if you encounter a bump in the road. From roadside assistance to rental car coverage, we have you covered. Find a local agent or get a quote at amfam.com.
American Family Insurance.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
After 60 years, Cherokee Country Club is now officially known as TPC Wisconsin. Right now, the course and the clubhouse are going through an extensive renovation. When the project is complete, TPC Wisconsin will have a course, club, facilities, and services that'll be second to none in the Badger State. Members will not only have a challenging experience playing the course, but they'll enjoy fine dining experiences and award-winning golf instruction. For more information on becoming a member at TPC Wisconsin, call 608-249-1000. That's 608-249-1000.
Oak Park Place offers seniors and their loved ones peace of mind by providing you the right balance of care centered around their lifestyles. Hi, this is Pat Richter for Oak Park Place. Choose a senior living community with neighbors that become like family. Enjoy the comforts of your apartment with an abundance of events just outside your door. Oak Park Place Senior Living with locations in Madison, Janesville, and Baraboo. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
Wild Rock Golf Club in the Wisconsin Dells, a Herdston Fry masterpiece, is one of the premier golf destinations in the Midwest. Wild Rock provides a true test of your skill, combined with some of the most stunning vistas you're ever going to encounter on a Wisconsin golf course. Download the new free Wild Rock app. It's a true game changer and lets you stay up to date and receive special promotions regarding all things Wild Rock. Bring your A game, folks. The Rock is waiting for you. Visit wildrockgolf.com. wildrockgolf.com.
Hi, this is Paul Braun, longtime Badger sportscaster. At this very moment, there's over 120,000 individuals in Wisconsin living with Alzheimer's or dementia. That's the seating capacity of Lambeau Field and American Family Field combined. Get involved with Alzheimer's Association by volunteering or by elevating awareness at your local Walk to End Alzheimer's. Visit alz.org/walk.
Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin chapter with funding by Oak Park Place Foundation.
We're back at TPC Wisconsin talking golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network along with Matt Kenedy, Larry Tiziani. I'm Paul Braun. Larry and Matt filling in. Dennis is off tonight, and Dennis arrived here more than 50 years ago with $56 in his pocket. What's your story, Larry? Seriously, on what was your first exposure and how did you get to Cherokee?
I had just had a very good tournament in the UP, Michigan, which was their state amateur.
But you had gone to Minnesota, graduated, and then went back to the UP?
Did my master's at Northern Michigan.
Okay.
And that's why they call me Tri-State, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and
Michigan. He's always got an answer for everything. He's got an answer for everything.
But I had left Iron Mountain after that victory and came to Cherokee for qualifying for the U.S. Amateur, of which I did, and that was my first vision of Cherokee, which at that time was in the top 100 in the country golf courses. And I was immediately impressed by, it was pretty much wall-to-wall, no trees, and we had the canals, which in itself was intimidating with the water, but you had some air because there wasn't a whole lot of rough, but it played extremely long. It didn't roll very far here. Fortunately, the greens were big enough and not heavily guarded in the front that you could take a long club and bounce it in. And I can remember where on 11 the canal came through. You had to carry your second shot. 12 the canal went through the middle of the fairway. You had to carry that. And 15 was a dogleg left, and it was cattails in that canal. You had a risk reward, carry or lay up short, and the length of the par threes was just awesome. I mean, I can just remember sometimes hitting 3 woods into par 3s, which was really unusual for me. But it was a great experience. I was fortunate enough to qualify the 36 holes and went to Charlotte, North Carolina, which was the last year that the U.S. Amateur was stroke play, won by Vinnie Giles. And behind us, I had a very good tournament, made the cut, but behind us was Ben Crenshaw, and he was wild off the tee. Oftentimes he hit off in our fairway, and then he would hit and walk to your hole, and all of a sudden you're on the green. There was a big roar. He birdied the hole, but he shot 71, 71, 71, 71, and finished.
No kidding.
Giles, but what a competitor that guy was. He was, no matter where he was in the game. And
how'd you get to Cherokee in terms of employment? When did that start?
That started. I was working in the inner city schools of Minneapolis, and at that time, Don Heafman was the superintendent of schools here.
Because you were teaching, right?
I was, and. When I came here, I had applied for a similar position in Minneapolis, and I never heard from them. And at that same time, Don Hapen suggested maybe that I should apply here, of which I had gotten the job here. And in Minneapolis, they were surprised that I was leaving. I says, well, I filled out an application, never heard from anybody. Figured, heck, they didn't want me anymore. But what happened is they lost the application.
No kidding.
Yeah, so it's been a great move for my family and us to be here in Madison.
Almost meant to be, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I kid around a lot about, but I have 2 sons that went to school here, and we had a great experience here, and we're still enjoying it. So it was good for us.
Matt, what's your journey in golf? You've been in the business about 35 years now. Give us a quick recap.
Yeah, started when I was 14, picking the range over at Monona Golf Course. Worked there through high school, took a couple years off, working other jobs, and then went out to Palm Springs and worked for 10 years. Met my wife, actually brought my wife out there, had family, decided that they needed to be closer to Grandma and Grandpa, so we moved back to Wisconsin. Worked down at Edelweiss down for 4 or 5 years, and then Door Creek for 8 years. And then about 3.5 years ago came over to Cherokee. So.
And in terms of at this point in your career and that kind of thing, Larry, you guys are both, you wound up now at the same facility and that kind of thing. And, of course, a lot of things are changing around here right now. What do you see, Larry, in terms of the history of this course, the change now? What are the impressions that you have of everything that's going on?
I had been on our back 9 with the changes, and there was a lot of work done. They basically started from the south going north and reconfiguring and reconstructing the golf course. And I was so impressed with that backside. I said, boy, anyway.
What impressed you?
Well, it's no longer very flat. It's rolling. It is very challenging with the shots that you have to hit. It's a tournament course. The shots that you have to hit, not only to put it in the fairway, but on the green, hitting spots on the green that if it's in the wrong spot, it's going to run away from you. And it's...
to greens that are already half the size that they used to be.
Yeah, if they were 10,000 square feet before, they're probably 6,000 square feet. Now, that's not quite true, but you get the analysis I'm trying to make there. But anyway, I went out with Denny and my grandson, Jack. We went out to the front side, and it is spectacular. Not only is it great, but the aesthetics and what were before our lakes. I don't want to say pond. Pond kind of diminishes the size. So if we say lakes, it gives you a little better idea of the water and how things are protected, the shots, the bunkers, the movement of the golf course, the movement of the greens. I'm fighting with myself to decide which side is better, the front side or the back side.
Really?
Yeah, I thought for sure this back side is just awesome, but boy, after seeing that front side, it is awesome. It's just, and I think Denny and Steve have done a marvelous job with that vision that they have. Denny has been a North Star here for a long time, and its direction. He's getting up there. He's a young 79, and for him to go ahead and see that.
That's a heck of a challenge to take on.
And put this guy and do the challenges he has. What a great legacy we're going to see here for a long time.
Matt, what are your thoughts? You were here before. It's beginning to change now. Larry obviously is very impressed. What do you see?
Well, just to kind of build off of what Larry was saying is, the course used to be typically sort of a flat kind of golf course with very little undulations in the fairways and on the greens, and with little protection in the front of the greens. And now just the different angles you have to play with that front of that green not being open so much, you have more undulation to where now when you land it on the green, you have to consider where the ball is going to land, because is it going to bounce off of this mound and go one way or the other way, and you have to take that into consideration, where that was something you didn't really have to worry about too much when you played the old Cherokee. So,
what does TPC mean in terms of what's going to be here? Ask the same question for the person that becomes a member and plays here, Larry, and then to Matt. What does that all mean? What should they understand about this?
It's a tour golf course. However, again, we have 4, 5 tees that you can play it to whatever your length is. It's going to be a challenge for you, but very fair, depending upon the length that you want to play. But you're getting a chance to play a course that you're going to find out how good you really are. I think the senior tour, when it comes here, they're also going to find out how good they really are, and it's going to be exciting.
Matt?
Yeah, I think that the membership, just playing this golf course on a regular basis, is gonna their short game is gonna improve dramatically. Just the way that the green surrounds are. We do have the different sets of tees, so that length won't be a problem for them. They'll be able to play the golf course at a comfortable yardage, but they're all going to have to be able to chip and putt, because these are some pretty tough green surrounds. So no matter how far you hit it, you're still going to have to learn how to get it in the hole. So.
That was going to be my next question to both of you. That will it not, be the biggest challenge, and for everybody that is a member and plays it for a while, you may not be as good as you were until you figured out where you're going, right, Larry?
For sure, and a lot of holes are very punishing to left-handers.
That's good to know.
That's part of my design a little bit, So it's just kidding. There's you'll hit shots. You all play well enough that you'll negotiate manage your way. It's 20% basics, and after a while 80% management. So you're all smart enough, and you'll manage your way around the golf course just fine.
Matt, from a head professional's perspective, what does it mean, TPC? How does it affect, if at all, the work that you do?
Well, becoming a TPC course, I think for our members, I think they can be proud that they're going to, be a member at one of the finest golf courses in Wisconsin. Their level of service, their level of golf course is going to be impeccable. They also have some other amenities as far as getting to play other TPC golf courses if they happen to travel, which is kind of nice for some of the members. But I think just the level of service and the level of golf course is going to be unmatched around here. So.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be back on TPC Wisconsin after this timeout on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
Drew and Jonathan Scott here to tell you that American Family Insurance wants to protect your dreams. So whether you're at home singing in the shower,
every note,
or prefer singing your heart out in the car like Drew,
cruising,
you can save up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto insurance with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Sculpted by glaciers and played by champions, University Ridge Golf Course is the host site of the American Family Insurance Championship and UW golf teams. The Ridge is a public golf course, and it's yours to play without a costly membership. University Ridge is now accepting advanced reservations for the entire golf season. To get your prime tee time reserved, call 608-845-7700 or visit universityridge.com. Play where the Badgers and the pros play. University Ridge.
Oak Park Place offers seniors and their loved ones peace of mind by providing you the right balance of care centered around their lifestyles. Hi, this is Pat Richter for Oak Park Place. Choose a senior living community with neighbors that become like family. Enjoy the comforts of your apartment with an abundance of events just outside your door. Oak Park Place Senior Living with locations in Madison, Janesville, and Baraboo. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
This is Gary D'Amato, senior writer for Killarney Golf Media and Wisconsin.golf. Visit Wisconsin.golf for the latest in golf news and feature stories about people, places, and tournaments in our state. And listen to Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin to hear me spar with Dennis Tiziani. Wisconsin.golf and Talking Golf on the internet and on your radio dial. The voices of golf in Wisconsin.
Back at TPC Wisconsin, along with Larry Tiziani, Matt Kenedy, I'm Paul Braun, and Gary D'Amato, who you just heard there on the commercial, now the senior writer for Wisconsin.com, or .golf, pardon me. Another guy that used to write golf, we're going back a little ways, though. We're going way back. And he wrote for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, Gary Van Sickle. Writer now, Sports Illustrated. Gary, welcome to the show. Let's start with a few memories of, you knew Larry, obviously, but you probably haven't seen him in 20 or 30 years or whatever, huh?
No, I ran into Dennis a few times because he was chaperoning Steve Stricker at tournaments here and there, and I talked to him over the years, but I haven't seen Larry since, I don't know, name a state open in the 80s. You know, honestly, I hate to say it, it's probably been 30 years, Larry.
Yeah, Gary, you and I haven't.
We got old in the meantime. What happened?
No, you and I haven't changed a bit. You know, same physique, same good-looking guys.
Good. That's an excellent point. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, but you know what? Larry hasn't changed in a lot of other ways. Number one, he'll never be anything other than a gopher. And he comes to the show tonight, and he's got purple on, which are the colors of the Minnesota Vikings. And but I guess it's too old to change, right?
Well, I think the big question is he like Kevin Costner? Is he like Tin Cup? Is he wearing some FootJoy Classic shoes that he took the metal spikes out of on the bottom? Those are his dress shoes?
I had to change. You remember that. It's not like I kind of do that. I still don't wear spikes. Probably teaching shoes is what they were classified as. And sometimes mainly tennis shoes are just a little bit easier on my feet.
How's your...
You know, what a great invention we've got now. We got these spikeless shoes that you get done playing, you can walk right in the clubhouse. You don't got to change shoes. They look pretty good. It's made life easier for golfers, and it's made life easier for a lot of clubhouse carpets.
You had a lot of nice things to say about his son as a player.
Oh yeah, he's played well. Played out of Marquette. I kind of keep track. I notice every now and then he's qualifying for some national or tour events. And he played very, very, very well, especially in college. He's still playing very well, but there's just kind of a fine line of getting over that hurdle.
Yeah.
And
you know, it was kind of the putter. You know, he just didn't make enough putts, and then you know, as he got a little older, like more toward 30, over 30, he started missing some putts inside of 6 feet, 8 feet. You know, if you're playing in a qualifier, and you know this, Larry, but if it's already, you got to go low. But if you're missing 2 putts, maybe 3 putts inside of 8 feet, right, you're not gonna qualify for anything.
Right.
And he never, unfortunately, he had a few shots at Q School in the final stage, and didn't get exempt. It would have been nice if he could have had one full tour on the one full year in the Corn Ferry, and you know, just to see what he could do. But the putter really held him back. And it's funny you mentioned qualifying because he's been playing so well. His putting's been better. He's up in Toronto right now. He just shot 68, which I think was 4 under, and he looks like he might qualify for the Mackenzie Tour this week in Toronto.
Nice.
He had a late time, but he wasn't dead last. But there's some guys after him. But I think he's going to get in this week. So maybe he can make a check and convert it to American dollars.
Yeah, you never
or
know.
buy crypto. I don't know.
Might be the time. You might pull out a victory. Stranger things have happened, and all of a sudden that's the fuse that lights his future going forward.
We're going to go round table here with a couple of subjects. Gary Van Sickle is with us. Matt Kenedy, the head pro at TPC Wisconsin. Larry Tiziani. Gary, I want to start with you. An overall general comment on Live Golf. Where are you at?
Well, it's exactly what I thought would happen when they announced it. The money is so big. They just can't say no. I mean, we're all guilty of probably being in that position. And Henrik Stenson was the guy who surprised me. He took the Ryder Cup job, and then he took the money anyways. And in retrospect, I wonder if he took the Ryder Cup job just to leverage them for more money. But you're talking about ridiculous sums. What did Charles Barkley say? For $200 million, I'd kill one of my relatives. And I think most people would say something like that. So money talks, and it's the money. You can't ignore it. It's so big no matter how rich you are. And too bad they didn't offer me any, but it's big, big money.
Do you know how they're getting that money? For example, if Bill Mickelson is truly getting $200 million, do you have any idea how they're paying that out?
No, I don't. There was a rumor that your early winnings were coming out of that amount, but somebody said that's not true. Doesn't mean it's not. Doesn't mean it isn't. But I think probably it's over I don't think it's here's $200 million right now. It's probably a 3 or 4 or 5 year contract, and it's paid out over that. That'd be my guess. But if I'd gotten one of those contracts, Paul, I would definitely tell you all about it. I would love to have one of those contracts.
Larry was signaling that you're on the right track there, apparently, with maybe 4 or 5 payouts. Larry, question for you. Mm-hmm. Do you think with Live Golf and what's happening, it's going to hurt both the European and the U.S. Ryder Cup and President Cup teams? And I'll ask Matt and Gary that same question.
I'm still forming an opinion about the people that are going to the Live Tour, as I see it, are the tour players are left there a little bit past their prime. Not to say that they're not good players and may win again, but they're not in a position there every week. If the tour, our tour, as I see it, it's always been a closed shop, as I see it, the regular tour, the Champions Tour. And if we had 50 people that were leaving the PGA Tour, what I would like to see is reduce the exemption from 125 and say, for easy figuring,
60 or 80, huh?
And okay, and now qualify, open those qualifyings up. It would have young people, have a chance to get on the tour. We have a lot of young players that are very good, just can't get there, and it takes a while to get there, going to the Corn Ferry, and then if you make it there in the top 25, you get some status on the regular tour. You have a young player and you've got a family, or how do you turn down all that money to go? And what happens if we don't have a young base to keep growing our tour? And I don't know if the Live Tour is going to go away. That's a lot of money that's going to be thrown at it. 54 holes, say, they got time to be with their family. They're easier on their body. And now, and in retrospect, before I leave that, I'd like to see the senior tour move down to 45. I would love to go ahead and watch people at the end of their career, be able to watch them play, i.e. Dustin Johnson and on, where they're very good players, and have an opportunity to continue to watch them.
Matt, do you think it'll hurt the Cup teams?
No, I think maybe in the short term, maybe just a little bit. I just think the number of good players that you have coming out of college and coming through the junior ranks, I just think that you have enough good players that you can take some of those older players out of that tour and be able to fill them in with some of these great college players.
Gary, how's your thoughts on the Cup potential?
Well, the Ryder Cup's going to be great no matter who plays in it. Both sides got a lot of players. In the past when these leagues have other sports leagues have had rivals, the ABA or the AFL, or even the USFL, it winds up making the original league survives, but it winds up making them better and stronger. In this case, I'm worried that every event can't be a super extravaganza event. If you remember when the PGA Tour came up with the World Golf Championships, here's like 4 events that sucked up all the big players, and that took 4 events off their schedule, and that maybe they used to play the John Deere and the Western Open and a few others. It took them away from the regular tour events, which is what made these guys into stars. And there were a lot of problems with that, and they've survived, but I worry about that there's going to be 8 or 10 or 12 of these big money events, and the tour is going to respond and have some, add couple more big invitationals. And the other guys are the John Deere tournaments, and the other tournaments, like they can't draw any big names because nobody's left.
Well,
sponsors may go away. I'm afraid you're gonna see the tour schedule get reduced, and that would be bad.
Okay, going to go around the table here quickly with all 3 of you. Start with you, Larry. What do you think in all of this? Of course, it's still being decided, might wind up in court, whatever. What do you expect that the Masters is going to do? They going to allow them to play?
I think they can. The tour can control that by you're invited to the Opens as a past champion. Aside from that, it's invitational, and if you are going to play, if you're not invited to play to get into those by points, you're not going to get any points. Therefore, you're not going to be able to play in any of the majors,
including the Masters.
Matt,
your thoughts?
I think the Masters wants the best field. I think that they want to have the best players playing in their event for that week.
Gary, how about you?
Yeah, that's probably right. But if anybody did want to take a stand and it could do something, it would be the Masters. As Matt said, you can just not invite guys, or these other events, they could ditch the world ranking points and just go by money won instead. And since these live guys are banned from the U.S. Tour and only can play in some, they're not going to be high enough up on the money list, so they wouldn't qualify. So if you simply change the qualifying standards, you might be able to legislate these guys out of your events. But I think Larry and Matt said it, that big tournaments want the best players wherever they are, and there'll be some kind of deal will be reached by the end of this year between Live Golf, or I like to call them the 54 Tour, right, and the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour. I think they'll find some kind of compromise financially where the Saudis have to reimburse the PGA Tour for what they've done, but we'll see.
Larry?
Yeah, I've never played at that level, but even in the state level, aside from the money, it was to be able to win the major tournaments in your state, and the competition to do that and be the best. And I would just relate that to the tour. The people that are there, for the most part, they want the major is the big carrot that they want to, and I think people will stick around for the tour just to be able to play in the big boy events.
Gary Van Sickle is with us. Gary, a question for you. There's a report out, Greg Norman, saying their field is set. I'm not sure if that's official or not. Cameron Smith has been rumored to be going at $90 million. Ernie Els said in the last 24 hours he hopes he does not go, and it would be a huge mistake. There have been rumors about Ricky Fowler. You're involved in golf in a very serious way. What's your thoughts on a couple of those particular subjects?
Well, yeah, Cameron Smith was unfortunately asked about it immediately after he won the Open.
You asking me about it, mate, just after I won the Open?
Yeah, that was terrible. But I think the most angry people about the Live Tour are the British media, because they feel betrayed by their guys on the European Tour. This is like these guys turning their backs not only on the British and Scottish golf fans for tournaments, but on the Ryder Cup. Because basically, if you're going on Live Tour, you're out of the Ryder Cup, and the British media is very partisan. These guys feel jilted, and they're like a girlfriend who just got broken up right before Valentine's Day. So they were very upset, but they asked him, and Cameron Smith, he did not say no.
No, he did.
If the answer's not no, then the answer's yes. So I expect that he's going. Ricky Fowler, he's out of his mind. He's on every TV commercial there is. He will lose all those deals if he does that. But for a lot of these guys, and I think you touched on this, but to me, anybody who goes on that tour is basically making the admission, I can't win anymore, or I don't want to work hard enough to try to beat these guys anymore. I'm done. It's like waving a white flag. Now, obviously, Cameron Smith is not in that category, but a lot of those guys are. And again, it's hard to blame them, but it's such. I wouldn't be surprised by anybody going because the money is so preposterous.
Speaking of money, going to go around here. We're going to quickly, we got about 3-4 minutes left, and then we're going to have to leave. Larry, how do you feel about the PGA allowing gambling?
Oh, boy. I'm not in favor of that at all. There's a place for it, I suppose. In my opinion, I'm just not in favor of it.
Matt?
I agree. I think it just opens up a can of worms.
Gary, your thoughts on gambling and the PGA Tour?
Well, it's unstoppable. I'm guilty of it. I actually bet on. I had some money riding on Matthew Fitzpatrick at the U.S. Open. He was my pick, so I made a few bucks. But sooner or later, somebody's gonna. In golf, it's not like baseball where you have 30,000 fans in a stadium. You can't do anything. I thought a few years ago at Carnoustie when Tiger was in contention in that last hole, somebody yelled at his backswing, and he was a couple shots back. But he messed up the shot. Tiger was livid. My first thought was, I wonder if that was a gambler who had money on Matsuyama or somebody else. I wonder if that was a gambler trying to affect the outcome of his bet. And that's going to happen. Somebody's going to yell, and you can disrupt a player and affect the outcome of a golf tournament. And I think it's bad for golf, but there's no stopping it.
Gary Van Sickle has been our guest. Before we let you go, Gary, any quick thoughts when you think back on your time in Wisconsin? Any fond memories there?
Well, I think everybody in Milwaukee has never probably appreciated that city, and you could include Madison. Those are the best municipal golf course systems in America. And I don't know who's second because it's not that close, but and there's not quite as many courses now as there were. But these par 3, they had all sizes. What a great treat it was to play Brown Deer and all those places. And I think people in Wisconsin are lucky to have. I mean, it's one of the best golf states. I put it one of the top 5 golf states in the country for quality of courses, and and they're fun and they're playable and they're affordable. Hey, maybe not Whistling Straits, but most of them.
Yeah, Gary, if I can interject, my grandson, I've talked to with the PGA Junior League and the Junior Tours and the Future Tours. I get a chance and go to Lincoln Park and Hanson Park and Missing Links, etc. And what great venues that whole park system and the golf courses are well maintained and lots of play. I agree with everything you said about Madison and Milwaukee Public's courses.
Been entertaining. Got to go, guys. Gary, thanks very much for your time. Good luck with that golf show, that podcast 2.0, which you're now doing too.
Yep. Hey, thank you, guys. It's great. It's great hearing from you. It's great getting a taste of Wisconsin. Thank you.
We'll be back after this time out on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
When it's time for an adventure on the open highway, one quick call to American Family Insurance gets you headed in the right direction. Our travel peace of mind package is there if you encounter a bump in the road. From roadside assistance to rental car coverage, we have you covered. Find a local agent or get a quote at amfam.com.
American Family Insurance.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
After 60 years, Cherokee Country Club is now officially known as TPC Wisconsin. Right now, the course and the clubhouse are going through an extensive renovation. When the project is complete, TPC Wisconsin will have a course, club, facilities, and services that'll be second to none in the Badger State. Members will not only have a challenging experience playing the course, but they'll enjoy fine dining experiences and award-winning golf instruction. For more information on becoming a member at TPC Wisconsin, call 608-249-1000. That's 608-249-1000.
Wild Rock Golf Club in the Wisconsin Dells, a Herdston Fry masterpiece, is one of the premier golf destinations in the Midwest. Wild Rock provides a true test of your skill, combined with some of the most stunning vistas you're ever going to encounter on a Wisconsin golf course. Download the new free Wild Rock app. It's a true game changer and lets you stay up to date and receive special promotions regarding all things Wild Rock. Bring your A-game, folks. The Rock is waiting for you. Visit wildrockgolf.com. wildrockgolf.com.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Hi, this is Matt LePay, voice of Badgers football and basketball. 1 in 3 seniors dies with Alzheimer's disease or other dementia. We all know someone. It might be your mother, grandfather, brother, spouse, coworker, or friend. You can raise awareness and funds to fight this devastating disease through the Walk to End Alzheimer's. Join the fight today at alz.org/walk.
Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin chapter with funding by Oak Park Place Foundation.
Back on Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network. Matt and Larry, want to thank you for filling in for Tiz. It's been a pleasure, guys.
It's been a real treat for us as well to be
on
the
fun.
show. Thank you.
Thank you.
David, thank you as well.
And before we sign off, we'd like to remind everybody we have golf passes for Wild Rock Golf Course in Wisconsin Dells. They're $60, including the golf car. The money comes to the Golf Effect charity, so you get to deduct it and get an opportunity to play golf at Wild Rock. All you have to do is go to the golfeffect.org website. On that website, it'll say Golf Passes in Wild Rock. You go onto that icon, you go to PayPal and pay for the passes, $60, put together a foursome, or maybe you want to get 8 guys and go up and play, or a couple of couples and that type of thing, and have some fun. And then the passes will be sent to you by the people here at TPC Wisconsin. So again, those limited amount of passes, there is some left, and if you want a great golf course to play, that would be your opportunity. It's Wild Rock in the Dells. The passes are good Sunday through Thursday. Again, guys, thank you very much for being part of the show, but we're out of time again for another night on Talking Golf, and we'll be back again next Monday night. But for Matt Kenedy, Larry Tiziani, Dave McCann, our engineer, I'm Paul Braun, and that's another round of Talking Golf from TPC in Wisconsin. We're back next Monday night at 6 to do it all over again.
Drew and Jonathan Scott here to tell you that American Family Insurance wants to protect your dreams. So whether you're at home singing in the shower,
Every note,
or prefer singing your heart out in the car like Drew,
cruising,
you can save up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto insurance with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Sculpted by glaciers and played by champions, University Ridge Golf Course is the host site of the American Family Insurance Championship and UW golf teams. The Ridge is a public golf course, and it's yours to play without a costly membership. University Ridge is now accepting advanced reservations for the entire golf season. To get your prime tee time reserved, call 608-845-7700 or visit universityridge.com. Play where the Badgers and the pros play. University Ridge. This is Paul Braun for Oak Park Place. Oak Park Place Memory Care Communities provide seniors and their loved ones peace of mind. Residents find purpose in their day through a success-oriented program focused on meeting residents where they're at on this journey with Alzheimer's or other forms of dementia. At Oak Park Place, loved ones find comfort and connection through caregiver support groups. Oak Park Place Senior Living with locations throughout Wisconsin. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
This is Gary D'Amato, Senior Writer for Killarney Golf Media and Wisconsin.golf. Visit Wisconsin.golf for the latest in golf news and feature stories about people, places, and tournaments in our state. And listen to Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin to hear me spar with Dennis Tiziani. Wisconsin.golf and Talking Golf on the internet and on your radio dial. The voices of golf in Wisconsin.